John here, guys, and today we are talking about the HQ 5x4.8x3 v1s. Now, this is a prop that's been on sale at different places recently, and people are wondering, why is it on sale? Why is it cheaper than the other ones? What's the deal? Is this like some old design that is very fragile? Is it any good? Is it worth it? It's a little bit cheaper, but am I wasting my money when I buy it? So I'm going to talk a little bit about that and compare and contrast my thoughts. Now, I first found this and I wanted to try them because they were on sale. I was finding now that I had switched over to the newest motor that I'm using, which is the Hyperlite 2405 2522 kV Team Edition. If you want to know more about how this motor performs and compares to the 2205 Team Edition that was so popular for so long, go watch my other video, A Tale of Two Motors. So put this to the side for now. And so on 2205, I had been using primarily these, which are the very, very popular HQ 5x4.3 v1s, and these are great props. They're very light, they spin up very fast, and the pitch is kind of light as well, so you can use them on very light, less powerful motors. But what I found when I switched over to these motors is I think they were just too low pitch. It felt too washy. I needed something higher pitch and grabby. So what did I do at first? I went back to my trusty Dow Cyclones. Now, I actually preferred the 5045 for that particular motor over the 5046. Now, the 5046 did have more punch, more power, but I felt like I got just a little bit of more control with the 5045. Now, for like something like the old Emax 2306 motors, really the 5046 was better all around in any scenario. But for this particular motor, I tended to prefer these. But I wanted to try and see if I could get that awesome HQ feel. And I had stayed away from HQs for so long. I'm really just not even sure why. There's no particular reason why. I just had never got a set until I started using those light 2205 Team Editions, and I needed something lighter. And the 5040C Dow handled great, but it just wasn't as durable. I wanted something with the traditional Cyclone durability, and that was the 4.3 v1s. So when I tried these, I was very pleasantly surprised. Now, this is my primary color that I use for these because it's so close to the color of that motor that I'm using, but I also have some of the black ones. They come in, the other HQ colors as well. But I find this to be very, very grabby. I find it to have some good punch. I think that it is a little bit more control for me than the 5045 or the 5046 dolls. I don't really find it any more amp hungry. So I'm getting about the same flight times, and durability is what I was kind of worried about for this particular prop. Now, I'm still not exactly sure why they are on sale at certain places. Powerflip's one of them. But it doesn't seem to be anything wrong with them. Are they as durable as the 4.3? I don't know. Maybe it's in my head. It seemed like they weren't. But after trying more and more packs, they were taking some hits. They weren't just falling apart. So I really don't know. I think it's close enough to where it's worth it, especially if you can get a couple of these, for the price of a regular V1S. Now, I do think that the 5x5 is a little bit higher pitched and a little bit more popular and possibly more applicable for more people. That might be the better prop if you're running 2207. I haven't tried that one yet. I'm very happy with how these perform. So I can really relate them more to the Dow Cyclone 5046. So if you are running the 5046, you want to try some HQs, check these out. It's a very low price way that you can kind of get introduced to HQ definitely recommend them. I'll try to include some flight footage, just some random flights with these props. You can't really tell anything on those flight footages for props. I mean, even if it was one prop versus another, can you really tell anything? But I'll include some anyway. Anyways, just kind of a quick comparison of these versus some other props that are on the market. How do they compare to something like the Gym Fan 5152? Those are such a special prop, those Gym Fans. But I just don't run them because they are just too delicate. They don't withstand a crash. Now, I have not tried the new versions of those. I hear that those are much better. Maybe that solved the problem, but for now, because I got a bunch of these on sale, I'm going to run with these. It's a great combo for this motor. So if you are running the 2405s, really definitely try this out. I'd like to hear some opinions from people that are running 2306 or 2207. How do you like these? Do they compare favorably or unfavorably to the 5050 version? So thanks, guys. Bye. Just a really quick update for you guys on these. I ran these on the track that you just saw, or that you're about to see, that I set up in a wooded area that I'm not as familiar with as the one I normally fly in. And I did that because I wanted to prompt some crashes to see how they hold up. So I did have a couple props that ended up like this, and I even had one where the whole thing just kind of disintegrated. So, and this is on the black ones. The colored ones seemed a little bit stronger. Overall, this was on like hitting those quad addiction gates, which are very thin and rigid. So, I mean, I've cracked cyclones in the same way. So they're not super weak. They're not impervious though. So if you do crash into stuff, if you're like a super fast flyer, and you hit a lot of gates, these may not be the perfect ones for you. I'm actually going to plan to use these for this season. But just be aware of that. Thanks, guys.